against Blacklist and Echo. You don't need to be too crazy. Stick to the fundamentals and try to beat them there first, because if you don't try even that first, you don't know how it's gonna work.
Fair point, fair point. But it's time for game number 2, Blacklist International on match point. Let's jump into the draft. TODAK going to be taking first pick this time against Blacklist International on
There you go, Diggy.
The respect band's coming on through.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Diggy really put a wrench in the pocket here. Blacklist, if they don't ban out the Novaria, I kind of feel like Moon will pick it up as well. So for now, TODAK, honestly, if I was them, I might as well ban out the Joy or the Frederick, because I kind of feel like those two heroes were a big problem just now.
The Joy. I can understand the Joy. I don't know if the Frederick is going to be necessarily worth. Actually, maybe it might be worth it now that Lancelot is gone.
They can also just first pick it, to be completely honest with you. If they ban out the Novaria here, maybe they can first pick it. But yeah, if the Novaria gets left open, that's the thing. Do TODAK want to go for it?
Let's see what direction is. They've got 4 more seconds until we see it. They're discussing it thoroughly. It's going to be the Valentina. This could be the setup for the Novaria.
Okay, so even if TODAK gets the Novaria, because again, we got to assume that Blacklist, they want to ban out the Ling here. Even if they do pick up the Novaria for TODAK, I kind of feel like it is going to be a Fredrin pickup again. And then perhaps something around, I don't know, because even the roamer position, I kind of feel like they can hide it for a bit, unless they just instantly pick up something like a Florian, because Florian Fredrin is pretty solid as well.
Okay, so the Ling.
Or a Glue. The Glue Florian is very disgusting.
I think they might not go. Yeah, I don't think they'll go for Florian first pick though. I think they're gonna go for Glue and then Feramis, take that counter away, and then use the Feramis as a flex pick. We know that Venus can play it role. Yeah. We know that Yua is a very good Feramis as well. And with the Valentina banned out, not a bad pick to go for.
I don't know. I feel like it's dangerous no matter what, right? You pick the Feramis, I mean, Yves is going to get picked up from the side of Blacklist International instead of the Novaria, unless TODAK want to get really crazy with it and somehow put Yums on the Novaria in the roam position, then I suppose maybe that's an answer. And even if they do it the opposite way, you pick up the Glue, that means that Blacklist International is going to get the Faramis.
Exactly. Novaria is the safest first pick for TODAK right now.
The falling stars.
And it will be the first pick.
Yep. 6 times picked so far with an 85% ban and pick rate with only a 67% win rate thus far. Let's see how Blacklist International is going to respond. We should expect to see the Fredrin, but pair it with what? Fredrin plus X.
That's a very good question. One of the heroes I'm thinking about to go straight for the Novaria is something like a Yuzong. If not the Yuzong, perhaps the Lapu Lapu, if they want to pick up the Joy as well, maybe. But yeah, I kind of feel like there is a lot of options for Ed where it really does come up to his comfort. You want a Yuzong, you want a Lapu, you want a Joy. Either of those would be fine. Not just in going with the Novaria, but any kind of hero that Chiku wants to use.
Benedetta, Agent Zero
as well,
pick.
yeah.
I looked Mirko in the eye. He's like, I saw the light hit his eyes, and it felt like both of us had the light bulbs go off at the same time. Let's see whether it's going to be that. No, it's going to be Eve for now. Are they going to pair it up with the Fredrin straight off the bat, or are they going to go look a completely different direction and prioritize Agent Zero this time around to keep it flexible? No, it's going to be the Fredrin once again for the opener of Blacklist International. Now, we move on to the next 2 picks from TODAK. Yeah, I think Claude is going to be an overall safe pick, right?
Yeah, Claude and perhaps something for Rival here, because if not, I think it is going to be completely banned out. Because I kind of feel like Claude is overall safe. Maybe an EXP later, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Looking at it right now, I honestly feel like picking up the Beatrix is going to be a bit better for TODAK, because they kind of want Blacklist International to go for a gold laner in the last pick of the first phase. Because right now, Blacklist are setting up for a beautiful last pick in the first phase to counter TODAK's XP. And that's going to be the Joy pickup and the Claude. Blacklist International, this is the time to go for that XP laner. Or they could just go for, honestly, the Beatrix too. Yeah. Technically.
It's a little tough to say here. I think
Hold on, is it okay for a Brody?
Ooh, I suppose. I mean, there is a world where Brody is picked up by Owl here. In terms of the matchup against, at the very least against Claude, it's a more Brody favorite.
Why
for
not
the time
Wanwan?
being. But Wanwan is probably going to be the go-to, right? I mean, it makes sense. It's wide open. You're able to negate a majority of the CC. If Joy starts running at you, if you see it coming, more importantly, you proc the weakness points, use the crossbow of tank to buy that extra bit of time.
The only concern, if you go for the 1-1, is you're going up against that Claude, so definitely the Arlet, the XP lane pick is a bit more, well, it's a bit better for Blacklist International. Good against the Claude, counters, and pretty okay lane up against the Joy as well. Skill matchup.
Yeah.
So right now, TODAK, they have two bans to think about because now, what are they looking for? Either they got to shut down Owl or Venus.
Owl or Venus, how would you do that? Because they've already dedicated at least 2 bans towards Venus' side. They could go for even more. They could get rid of potentially, let's see, I mean, Florin seems pretty decent.
Maybe Florin Beatrix, Florin Brody, like,
I'm thinking just Beatrix and 1-1.
yeah.
I think leaving those two open is still okay, right? Because even, let's say, all right, Brody gets picked up here, you can just pick up the steel leg plates. One of the reasons Brody has actually fallen out of the meta is because you're not as oppressive as you used to be. There's so many defensive items that are really good up against the Brody right now, and obviously also the buffs to its anti-Curus is making it very hard for Brody to come back in the meta.
Is banning.
What's up with this Matilda?
Yeah.
I gotta get Scrim Leaks or something. I don't know what's going on.
What? Why the Matilda? Why so much
It's
priority?
not even the same team.
Yeah, it's
TODAK
TODAK now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, oh my Venus is pretty good on the Matilda. So,
yeah.
asking the question, do you target Venus or Owl? So far, they're saying, nah, fam, it's still Venus.
It's all about Venus.
It's all my Venus.
I would like to believe that, but in this case, like, how does Matilda really kind of work together with the rest of their composition, right? Because it feels like if Blacklist
You
International...
will always follow the quad wherever he goes.
Well, that's a good point. That is a good
And it
point.
gets you out of the Joy, right?
Yep.
Remember, that's the Guiding Wind is a very good mobility tool that they can utilize.
At the end of the day, I would still imagine that the Beatrix would be the ban here, and I feel like Blacklist International would be more than happy to pick it up and even pair it up with a Florin if necessary, right?
This is so hard. Going up against Blacklist.
And TODAK.
And TODAK.
It's like whatever
So
you
hard to
ban,
predict.
whatever you ban, in hindsight, people will say, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Bene? No. Did you say Arlet?
You're wrong. You're wrong. I mean, like, again, like, here's the thing. Because both teams can go very, very crazy, that we forget the obvious choice.
Yeah, it's the Spider-Man meme all over again. Welcome to the Spider-Verse. They're all just pointing at each other. It's just, you don't know who's the real one. With Martis, follow-up ban and the final ban coming in for Blacklist International. TODAK, last 4 seconds to determine their fate here. Ban's going to be Aramis this time around. Okay.
Count it out. 4 bans towards Oh My Venus.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's back to M3 again. We're back to M3. This is literally what happened at M3.
I'm thinking about this. I'm feeling like, okay.
Oh, what? Venus on the mid. Wait.
I respect that.
Hey, Minotaur has a heal.
Minotaur does have a heal, and it's not like Oh My Venus has not played Minotaur in the Queen's career ever, because the truth is, it has been played before. It has been utilized. She has one of the biggest hero pools in the MLBB community, but the setup from TODAK banning out this Faramis means that this Joy might actually just go into the jungle, they pick up glue for themselves and hope for the best.
Oh, man. And now with the Minotaur, Arlet, Yves, and the Fredrin, it just sets up perfectly for another Beatrix pick. And the Beatrix does pretty well against the Claude as well. So they're really just sticking to what worked in game number 1, but they're just changing a little bit, right? There's still a clump-up composition. It's still really unique, but TODAK, what do they have to say? What is the response at this point?
It's either they look for combo components.
No, honestly, I'm just thinking, what can you use here? And he's going for his signature Cho, as well as Rival going for the Akai. So quite a bit of heal here. Now, Yumes is pretty good on the Cho, but against this kind of matchup, even I'm not entirely sure, man, because you kind of don't want to kick the Arlet, you don't want to kick the Minotaur, you don't want to kick the Fredrin, you sometimes can't even kick the Eve, so not a lot of options. Yumes, 1 out of 5. You gotta be insane at locking down those targets.
I mean, it's not even just about locking, it's about canceling abilities with the third hit of Ji-Kun-Do, right? There's so many valuable ults that you could potentially stop in its tracks with it, but that's like, what, 1 or 2 frames that you're working with?
It's a very, very high skill matchup right now for Yumes especially. And yeah, I was about to say, Blacklist, they could just go for the Beatrix, they could go for the carry and have a Purify, but then that mobility will certainly be a problem. If you want the best of both worlds, you want Purify and you want some damage, mobility as well, it's the 1-1.
It's so good here. Man, it's strange to see that 1-1 is left all the way to the end. Like, it's such a high priority pick for so many of these teams. But personally for me, I don't think it's looking very good for TODAK right now.
If I'm gonna quote Peter Parker, I'm not feeling good, Mr. Stark.
Oh, yes.
I mean, actually, no. Who is that? I only know Spider-Man.
Oh, okay, yes. I don't know who you're
Actually,
talking
yeah, who
about.
is Spider-Man?
I have no idea. Maybe it's Owl.
Huh. Forget what I said earlier. Oh, dude. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry.
Big spoilers.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I can't wait to see how this game is going to go. TODAK has a mountain to climb in Blacklist International. They're already feeling it. They know they might just get first seed here.
Oh, they know it. They're confident and in their draft as well. We're going to see how it works out in the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. A possible clean sweep here for TODAK. They may be able to pull an upset if the draft worked for them. How does it work?
Let's find out. Let's prod at it. Let's prod at it and hope for the best, because now we're seeing an early level 2 opener from Edward as well as UA working together on that top side of the map. All the mid lane has been early shoved just to secure this Litho Wanderer.
Yeah, right now, looking at the situation at Blacklist, actually, again, because Humes, I'm thinking on the Fredrin as well, because Wise can cancel out his Way of the Dragon. So, I don't know. We really got to see TODAK kind of like play out of their minds. They got to out-micro Blacklist, but that's going to be very difficult, man.
They certainly have to practice their minds off to get a slight edge in the early game. I believe it's still neutral objective-centric for the Akai.
Yeah, it really is going to be. Let's look at the in-game equipment, see if there's anything out of the ordinary. Nope, everything looks pretty standard here. Early like plates, a pair of pants for Rival early on. But at the end of the day, once those level 4s start coming on through, that's when the real action's going to begin.
Yeah, right now we can see TODAK, they're more worried about the physical damage. Blacklist, they're more worried about the magical damage. Now, Oh My Venus just going to get chunked down just a little bit. Even Retribution is used. Wise is up, and he's level 4.
A lot of commitments. Praises Wrath as well. Rival forced to use the heavy spin just to disengage. But he gets chunked really low right there. Has to respect it, and the turtle should be spawning in just a bit. So it does give Blacklist International more room to play with to set up for it.
I think at this point, right, they have already got position. 5 more seconds until the turtle is going to spawn. And you can already see that Edward, is pretty deep in there, making sure that he spots everybody. He sees Momo early. He's going to try and trade against them early.
All right, Momo jumping back and forth, trying to buy some time right now, trying to give some vision. That's going to be the ultimate coming down from the Varia. Rivals looking for Retribution right now. Is that the Minute Fury to cancel it out? Edward slashes it away, and that's Rival taken out. First blood over. Yums falls as well. Agent Zero with a double kill.
Beautiful timing from Oh My Venus, right? Just charging up that Minoan Fury to make sure that that last third hit is going to deter Rival, because if he tries to go into that fight or in towards that pit, he's going to get knocked up and won't be able to use his Retribution in time or compete against Wise.
This is a very bad start for TODAK here. In fact, Blacklist International 1,000 goal lead at the first 3 minutes of the game. Wise taking advantage of it, actually taking some jungle away. Now Chiku guys, as well as Humes against Owl. Kind of feel like it is going to be a difficult lane for you to get a kill.
It is. This matchup is not really that good for the Claude, technically. For the Claude, it's just all about clearing waves and getting that average stack, right? For Owl, he can actually just go and force all-ins from time to time here. The only thing that really makes it hard for Owl usually is TODAK's going to be all across the place looking to go and gank him. The fact that the TODAK are always playing for the neutral objective because of the Akai pick gives Wanwan so much free presence, and that's why he's been able to commit so many times onto an all-in trade.
Well, let's look at the supports here, because right now Oh My Venus just making sure that Humes is kept into check, right? Man-to-man defense, as Leo likes to call it, and I think that's the perfect way to describe it, because they're making sure that no one really disrupts this bottom side.
Oh, Moon has used the actual recall. He's going to be caught. Flicker. That's the response. And now, Minute Fury, Yums with a Flicker out as well. 2 Flickers burnt out. 3 minutes in, top side. Edward almost getting a solo kill up against Momo. Vengeance and Flicker also down here. Rival might be forced to use the heavy spin defensively, but will be able to escape from the Appraiser's Wrath with just a dash.
Look at how Wise is moving, but now look at Chiku guys as well as Owl.
Okay, good Purify from Chiku guys. Takes the stacks away, takes the weakness points away, and it does give him a little bit more time. And I think they wanted to commit to a dive, but they hesitated.
But again, look at how Wise was moving. This is the kind of Fredrin I'm talking about. Whenever he sees someone, he doesn't hesitate. If I'm going to retreat, I'm just going to retreat. I don't care about the neutral objectives. I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to get some kind of positive here. Speaking of Turtle, looks like Wise going to take it for free.
Not even a retreat there. He actually wanted to save it to go for a possible invade on the purple buff, but Rival just used his own retreat knowing that you know, it's a bit too risky to go for that. Meanwhile, Chiku, it does seem like, thought that was going to hit. Owl looking for the, he can actually go for the all-in right now, but he has to be very, very careful with a few members already rotating down below. Natural recall, it's a sphere here, but again, this is why the 1-1's super good against the Novaria. You can dash out. Mobility is so good for Blacklist.
Yeah, it's a hard target to hit, and as we mentioned before, like TODAK's lineup, it's going to require a high level of precision, a high level of execution, in a matter of fact. Somehow they're going to need, despite these odds and disadvantages, they just need to hit these shots.
They're just playing for Chiku right now. Just trying to get him ahead, but Owl's going to be able to do so much damage right now. With a few hits, heavy spin already committed onto Venus, going to be brought back to the team. Minute Fury was actually cancelled out, but she is still going to be able to dish out some CC. Momo in the back, zoning this backline away, but Yums is just going to be teared down, melted from two of the frontliners from the side of Blacklist International. That's how far ahead they are. They don't even need their backline. Yue stopping the recalls right now. Rival is caught. Wise picks up a double kill. The utility jungler dealing this much damage as Momo finally will be able to do something about it as Chiku gets the kill, but look at Wise again and again stopping the recalls. The most annoying Fredrin, the Psycho Fredrin! But once you're distracted, Edward comes through with the final slash. That's the Appraiser's Wrath to clear out the wave as well. A prolonged team fight, but certainly it's good for Blacklist. Oh, Retri! Wise!
Psycho Fredrin, man.
Psycho Fredrin.
Woo! You're right about the Psycho Fredrin. Initially, I was thinking that maybe Edward was getting a little upset. Hey, you're not paying attention to me. Look at me when I am talking to you, as he final slashes them out and initiates the dive for the rest of the team. Blacklist are playing a fine game right now, giving no room for any kind of comeback for TODAK as of yet.
Right now, 3,000 goal lead for Blacklist International. And here's the thing, man. You got to find a way to make sure that Oh My Venus uses the Minute Fury early, because a lot can be canceled here, especially Chiku, guys, on his Blazing Duet. And now Blacklist International, they're starting the turtle, and Owl is pushing everyone away. He's the one zoning them out.
Without Inspire, he does that much damage already, zoning Rival away. And Rival, I think he made a good move not to use the heavy spin there again. He just called that he doesn't want to go for the neutral objective of Chiku now. Yep, that's the flicker. Chiku is dead.
They've got to play for another out at this point. It's clear that Blacklist are making sure that Chiku isn't able to feel comfortable outside of lane or even underneath his turret. They need to somehow punish Edward, which I don't think is even possible at this point, because these early trades have put him significantly ahead of the curve than he should be.
Right now, Momo as well is trying his best just to make sure that he can get something here. He's 1v1ing Edward. And so far, he is kind of winning the trade, but Edward is staring him down.
Uh-oh, that's a solo kill, if I've ever seen one. Agent Zero playing it perfectly. Yum's now going to fall to the crossbow Tang. As that's Oh My Venus tanking up a few turret shots. Wise, Psycho Fredrin with a taunt as well. The Purifier's not ready. He jumps back to the battle mirror image, but it's only onto Blacklist side. That's Yue with a flicker. Another BMI. Chiku, how long are you going to be able to run? How long can you prolong this? Getting the stacks. Yue, he's not even going to wait. He's not even going to greet it out. Instant real-world manipulation. The respect given over.
And even in the mid lane, we see Rival. He's going to get run down by Owl at this point of time. Good stun coming in from Edward as well. What can you really do realistically? Rival, he's going to get back out of here.
Honestly, at this point, what I can see what TODAK is trying to do is they're trying to minimize the amount of damage that they're receiving, clearing out the minions as fast as they can, making sure that Blacklist can't fully push it out right now. Looking at the gold difference here for the gold laners, 6,300, 400 for the 1-1 on Owl, 5,300 on Chiku, guys, with this Claude, roughly about 11,000 difference.
11,000 difference?
1,100, sorry.
1,100. That makes a lot more sense here. I mean, the gold deficit already is 6.4K, and the majority of it, and you know, considering everything that has happened, 3 turtles falling into the hands of Blacklist International, but more importantly, only 1 structure has fallen 9 minutes into the game. I guess this is going to be a lot longer than game number 1 at the very least.
I mean, like I said, they want to split, man, because look at the way that TODAK is playing. They're just playing the map. It's like, you know what, I am not interested in fighting you guys right now. I'm just solely looking at the turrets.
They can't. They simply just can't go for any team fights right now, being 6,000 gold behind. Moon can go for a cheeky little steal, but with a body block for Wise and even Owl, I think with damage as well. But Chiku jumps back to the battle mirror image right now. Purify, perfect Purify, but the damage is not enough. Yue sustains with the RWM, and Edward Edward just stays in the back. That was good mechanics, but when you're too far behind, you don't deal damage. They're going for more, actually. Owl still has the Inspire, still has the Purify as well. Crossbow attack not ready just yet. Momo finds the kill back. That's a knockup from V, though, and Momo should fall to Wise. Rival with the heavy spin, only locking Wise, but there's no follow-up. He's going to be forced to disengage. And it's still Blacklist who are dictating the game.
Yep, they continue to dictate in game. They lead by tempo, and they also lead by example. Now they're going to be crashing down this mid-tier 1, and more importantly, they got the sideways working for them at the same time. With a lead like this, it's hard to imagine that Blacklist is going to make that blunder. They are known to be methodical. They are known to play by the book. But if they want to increase the tempo like they did in game number 1, I think this is the trigger point.
This is going to be very difficult for TODAK because, again, we see what they're going for, but it's one of those things that is going to look cool if you make it happen, but you're putting yourself at so much of a risk here because, again, you are losing the game for now. And look at that. Wise doesn't care. He's marching in.
He just walks up menacingly. Momo and Rival able to deal out with the First Lord because Blacklist International did not have their marksman. Owl was actually taken down earlier. They can't push even more into the base, but hey, 2 tier 2s is completely fine.
I am getting some Dio vibes from Wise. He's just walking up. It's like, who's ready to face me? 2v1, let's go!
Right now, level 14 for Wise, level 11 for Rival. As a jungler, that does not feel good.
That hurts.
That hurts a lot.
It hurts the soul to junglers all across the world here, as now the final outer turret will fall. And as I mentioned before, the trigger point, right? If Blacklist want to increase the tempo of the game, this is how they're going to do it. Now we passed the 11-minute mark, and we're guaranteed to make it into the 12th before Blacklist will secure the next upcoming Lord. And I think that's when TODAK are really going to have to put everything at the wall, but with such a lead that we see from Blacklist International from an 8.3, which is going to develop into a 10k lead when the next wave of neutral creeps starts spawning, especially the jungle creeps as well. Blacklist should have this no problem.
8,000 gold lead. Looking at this situation, I'm even wondering if TODAK forces a fight. Say Blacklist forces a fight and TODAK finds a good situation for them to fight back. I'm not entirely sure if they have enough damage to actually win that one because right now, Blacklist, they're very tanky. Having the Fredrin, having the Minotaur, having the Arlet, a lot of CCs, healing, very tanky. It's very difficult to drop this kind of lineup down, man.
I mean, the only play that I could see that's viable right now is if TODAK can somehow isolate Owl. We did see them try to do something on the bottom side with both Owl and as well as Yue paired up together. That could have been a point that TODAK could have tried to send members down there to fight it out. But then there's always that realistic approach of maybe that crossbow attack could outplay the entire team and cost them the entire game.
I think the problem right now is the fact that, TODAK have good CC lock. They have good single target damage as well, but they can't lock anybody down. Nobody in particular that you need to go for, right? Yue and Owl, those are the two main targets. Thing is, Owl has a built-in Purify. Yue is anti-CC with real-world manipulation. So this CC from Yue, oh my god, what a move by Blacklist. Instantly for the top, they move down below. Yums is completely isolated. He buys the immortality here. He's trying to buy some time. Claude is all the way in the bottom lane. He can actually go for the push here. Be careful in the bottom lane right now. Owl's going to be able to find the crossbow attack, but in the bottom lane is going to be the push once again. Yum's going to be able to find the way the dragon, but his crossbow attack is still ready. Owl going to be zoned away right now. Look at the base. The base is wide open. Base turret going to be taken down. Does he have enough minions? No. Two cannon minions right now. They might be able to do it. Chiku, guys! Against all odds!
It's over.
You have to wait for it right now. Owl's marching, but it's all over!
It's over.
8,000 gold lead! No. It does not matter! They live in the chaos!
I called it, man. Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
What?
Tag me. I called it. For you to be Blacklist International, don't think about a fight. Go for the side lanes.
You're right.
I called it. Someone clip that. Someone clip the things that I said, man.
How? No. I can't believe that. Who made that call at the very end?
Chiku! Yeah, 100% Chiku.
It's not only that, it's the fact that Rival was able to lock 4 people against the wall, buying him a full 5 seconds, and that's all he needed as they chased them down towards the end of the map. Wow, what a game. I mean, Blacklist, they can't be disappointed with it. They're like, okay, fair play, but we're bringing this to game 3.
The power of the slow push, that 2 cannon minion built up in the bottom lane. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Okay, I just want to watch the replay.
As an analyst, it's good to call things out before the draft even starts.
It does, but that is some
What?
That is TODAK. That is TODAK. Dude, they're like, you know what? If we can't beat you in a team fight, we don't have to.
I'm at a loss of words.
I'm just glad it's not a 2-0.
It is. I mean, you called it, LaFell. I was already down, and I was like, yeah, Blacklist International basically have this in the bag. You can't beat them at the fight, but you can buy a lot of time, and apparently buying a lot of time is a win con.
You want to show what I did after the draft ended?
Oh, he was like,
It's like, nah, it's not happening. The 2-0 is about to come, but man, now we're going to be moving on towards a game 3. Who would have thunk? Who would have imagined it?
I mean, 8,000 gold lead. I think you would be able to imagine it before the series actually started, but then after game 1, you're like, okay. And then after the 8,000 gold lead, you're like, that's what I said after the draft of game number 2. Maybe it was the curse activated just as I do this, but what the heck? What?
okay, so if anyone wants to do that, because again, you got to look at the macro of what TODAK did.
That's slow push.
Even if they die, look at the situation. We don't care. As long as the minions die with us, because even Yums, as a roamer, he's clearing the minions. They're proxying the wave, making sure that there's no way that the minions are touching the turrets. Because again, buying time, you can die as much as you want in-game, not in real life, kids. As long as your turrets are there, there's always hope. And again, Chiku guys has this ability to see across the map.
Spatial awareness.
Spatial
He's an anime character.
And again, Psycho Fredrin quickly retreating Yums, and then he's like, yo, I think Wise has eyes for me.
I mean, that might have been the tell, right? The information is relayed, Rival sees the angle, Chiku makes the call, and it all dominoes into a win for TODAK. And I honestly
replay.
hope to see the replay, just to see the full entire setup here. And LaFell, you gotta break that down when it does come up, but in the meantime here, we can bask in the glory that we at least are getting a game 3.
I thought it was going to be the most anti-climactic last game in the group stages, because usually we always have something going on. We always have a tiebreaker or just a 2-1 game to end off the group stages, and it was looking like a 2-0 and not even a close one at that. It was looking like a complete stomp. TODAK, hey, expect the unexpected. I expected Blacklist to win in game 2. When I expect something, it does not happen.
Yeah, even for me, I'm agreeing with Miracle throughout that game. I was like, yeah, this is not going well. Every interaction is not falling into the hands of TODAK. Oh, look at him. Camera cut to him. Yeah, you look at the smugness on his face.
I mean, again, I called it, but here's the thing. It's kind of hard to do that without the Claude. I have to say that. With the Claude, it's doable. But again, Cameron, since you're focused on me, called it.
Bask in it. Bask in that glory here. I can't wait to see the post-game stats, because, wow, people are going to be very confused when they screenshot this and post this on their own MPL groups. Like, what happened?
I want to see the actual real post-game stats, because I think most of the players from TODAK were bronze. Like, they were all chocolate. It's a chocolate victory for them. So literally, it is a sweet victory. I want to see that. Can someone please screenshot that in the back? Because I want to see full chocolate TODAK who won against a full gold Blacklist.
This is for socials as well. They'll be great to see.
Right?
That'd be great.
You don't have to have good KDA to win.
Dude, 2 kills! They had 2 kills
as well.
Dude, imagine like people who did not watch the game would be like, production made a mistake. You meant Blacklist won.
Nope.
MVP of the game. I kind of feel like
KDA,
let's go! 0!
Hey,
33% T5 participation.
to everyone who was spamming Chiku feeder, he feeds, but it doesn't matter. He's
Feed to
Chiku.
win. Feed to win.
Feed to win.
I'm too excited right now. Because, dude, winning that way, mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Beautiful.
I love winning that way, but I've never done it like 1-4. I'm usually like...
We can try that tonight.
I guess 1-4. I've never seen a team get stomped so hard and still be able to pull off a backdoor.
I mean, look at this heat map, man.
All of a sudden, there's one dot in the base.
Oh my god.
Just one dot in the base.
That's Chiku.
I mean, his laning phase is all around, like the 4th minute down by the bottom side, and then eventually you see him rotate, and after that, he's just constantly #1 being targeted down by Blacklist International, never stopped moving up until the 13th minute where he stands at the crystal. Let's look at the highlights. Break this down for us, LaFell.
Breaking it down, Blacklist won.
Yeah.
Until they lost.
I mean, again, what's there to honestly?
33%.
I'm gonna be honest with you, LaFell.
All
It's gonna be really hard to do your job here because Blacklist were just stomping. There was nothing to analyze. Blacklist were just doing their thing.
Okay, I can analyze because if only we don't see just the fights, because look at the way that TODAK managed the waves. I think that's the crucial thing. I think that is what all of the online coaches, online analysts have to look at this game. Because look, Chico guys already know he's gonna die. He did not attempt to run away. He just like, hey, wait, there's a minion there. I'm just gonna clear it. Just now, he cleared as well. Tried to kill Yue, didn't happen, but he still cleared the lane.
I like how Chico already foreshadowed that play. He went back to a battle mirror image to try to kill Yue. So he's a movie.
Yeah. No, he won. Look at this. Again, Gideon just said it. Rivals stop absolutely everywhere. Here's the thing. As a Novaria, you have the range to stop those recalls as well. You could Astral Echo, man. Like, you want to recall? I'm going to stop you just for a little bit. No one was able to recall. Look at that.
And the best part, the Astral Echo also has a slow, so even if you want to run back into base really, really fast, you can't. You just can't. Look at this. What is this?
Moon's probably the only one without the chocolate.
Yeah, Moon's like, guys,
he's probably the MVP. He's probably the MVP in game, and that's why, again, the MVP in game doesn't show you much.
1-0-1. It's like, guys, I got this. I'm going to carry you. We were talking about how Moon, sometimes he makes the mistakes. He was the one that did not die at all.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. All the narratives that we have set up to this one, almost anticlimactic, but turning to one sweet moment.
Dude, 13 minutes. 13 minutes, man.
They're like, yeah, we can beat you.
Dude,
How?
Blacklist have 1 kill per minute.
They have a kill per minute as well. And TODAK ended the game with 3.
I'd be tilted, man.
Honestly,
I'd
be tilted too. I wish we could get a statement from Blacklist International because I think they have like, all right, we may have made a mistake here, but all respects going over to TODAK, taking that level of punishment. It is not easy to take. It is taxing on the mind.
Here's the thing. I saw Wise's face, and he was laughing.
Yeah.
Because I think he was like, how did we lose that game?
He was more concerned of like, man, I don't know how we did that. You know? Because it's like a two-man job.
It really is. I can't wait. I can't wait for Dexter to just look at the team and is like, guys, why? This could have been a lot easier, but let's look at the post-game numbers.
Guys.
Wait.
I told... Mirko.
Even damage dealt, though.
Dude, here's the thing. I told you guys, during the meeting, it's like, Chico will lose lane, but for some reason, 1-4-0, he has the most gold. Make it make sense. How can 1-4-0 be the highest gold? Momo has the most damage as well, which is impressive, but still.
Rival just took a beating. He's like, no, I'm not going to get a single assist in this game. 0% victory.
0-4-0.
0-4-0. And guess what? Doesn't matter as long as you win, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate?
Numbers don't matter.
Numbers don't matter.
Numbers don't matter. I mean, in terms of overall structures as well, like Blacklist have taken out all the outer turrets at the same time. I am just surprised that Owl wasn't in the rich guy category. Where did all the gold go? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I think the turrets just gave Chiku so much more gold, and the fact that he's always isolating himself from the team gets him so much more farm, and he's always also utilizing his resources to clear out waves.